The Newbery Award-winning book that I chose was Feathers by Jacqueline Woodson. So in this story, Franny, which is the main character, is a young girl, and she's navigating through school, life, and the world around her. And it's a little bit crazy, and she's super curious. When a new boy arrives at school, everyone nicknames him the Jesus boy. But his appearance challenges what everyone assumes he should look like. So she learns through different experiences with him. She has a deaf brother, and her best friend Samantha all teach her that it's important to understand people beyond their labels. And so the main character's Franny, like I said, super thoughtful and curious. The Jesus boy, he's the new student at the school, and yeah, everyone thinks he might be the real Jesus. And then Samantha, which is her best friend and is like Miss Holy and super like churchy throughout the whole book. And then Trevor, which is the Mr. Tough guy at the school. And then Franny's brother, Sean. And Sean is deaf. So he sees things at a different perspective than Franny does all the time. And he helps her realize different things. So this takes place during the winter in about like the 1970s when discrimination took place. And the neighborhood is divided by a highway, which has the white people on one side and the black people on the other. So some of the themes in the story are accepting and understanding differences, identity and belonging, and seeing the beauty in everyday life, which is kind of how this book cover is represented by just the mundane moments and the ordinary ones and what's beautiful about them. So Franny feels confused about her faith and identity throughout the whole story, so that's a problem, as well as students struggle to accept Sean for his differences, and the community is divided with discrimination. So some of the solutions are Franny learns to appreciate the differences, students begin to better understand Sean, and all the characters grow in empathy and acceptance. And Franny realizes that hope can exist even in difficult moments, which is super powerful. So the climax occurs when tensions around uh, Jesus boy occur, like people start confronting him and he stands up for himself, and it's super like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? So you just have to read the story to find out. But they finally realize who he is, and everyone begins some empathy. There were no illustrations in this book, but students should read this to learn about empathy and acceptance of others and how people are different, but it doesn't give us a right to judge. And it encourages like identity and belonging. Where do you belong? And there's a lot of real life issues and differences with disabilities and everything in this book, and how to just have a big heart and find the beauty in everyday moments, no matter what life has given to you, and just find the feather. Thanks. Good read.